New Sentinel Sports Page brought to you by Image Matters. We continue our Sports Page Summer of Football. We're previewing teams around the country, getting you ready for the 2012 season. We bring in the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach at Arizona State. His first year at Arizona State with a brand new staff under head coach Todd Graham. Mike Norvell joins us here on the New Sentinel Sports Page. Hey, Coach, Vince Ferrara here in Knoxville. How you doing today?
Man, doing great. How about yourself?
We're doing great, Coach. Kind of looking through the staff there, there's kind of a Southeast flavor. I mean, obviously you guys have worked, a number of you have worked with Todd Graham before. You're from Arkansas. I think there's 3 guys that have worked at Alabama, and Larry Porter is certainly familiar to the state of Tennessee, who's Memphis's head coach, and coached at Tennessee Martin as well, and Chip Long from Birmingham. There's a lot of sort of Southeast flavor on your staff.
Yeah, we do. We have a great staff that we've been able to put together, and really excited about the ties that we have to the Southeast region. Obviously it's something that in recruiting and getting out and cultivating a lot of those relationships that we've had. We're able to have a real national sense in regards to recruiting, and just been around a lot of great football and a great deal of experience on this staff.
So why was this the right move for you to work under Todd Graham at Arizona State?
Coach Graham, I'm going in my 5th year with him, and he's been a guy that is just a really great guy to work for. Every single day, he's a guy that's going to bring it, and he expects the most out of his coaches, his players, and every day, pushing to be the best at the best at what we do. And when the opportunity presented itself to come to Arizona, I mean, obviously I was extremely excited about it, and to continue to be under him, and help us take this program to where it needs to be and competing for championships.
We're visiting with Arizona State offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach Mike Norvell here in our Sports Page Summer of Football, previewing teams in 2012, talking about Arizona State right now. You mentioned recruiting, and as you well know, there's always negative recruiting, and something that you may have already heard and you probably will hear is about Todd Graham, because he has been at several different coaching spots over short periods of time and had short tenures at those spots. How do you counteract that when kids are being told from other schools, hey, we never know how long those guys are going to be there? How do you respond to that as a coach?
Well, as every kid that comes in here, that's obviously a question that most kids want to ask and talk about is, the longevity of a coach being at a place. And I don't think it's just necessarily specific to our situation, but everywhere. And that's one of the things we talk about, the situation, the circumstances of what's got us here to this point. And this is a place that we've got great ties to. This place, Coach Graham. I know that even my time with him at Tulsa, this was a destination that that he's got family in, with his wife's family from being from here, and obviously the experiences he had of coming out and vacationing and spending a lot of time in the Phoenix area. And this was a job that I can tell you, I don't think that he was expecting to be presented with after just 1 year there at Pitt. But the opportunity did present itself, and it was something that for his family and for this coach's family, this was something that he felt was the right thing to do. And I can tell you, I was fully supportive of him, and just really excited about being here.
Well, you said the word opportunity. There's an opportunity now at quarterback for some of your guys now that Brock Osweiler is backing up Peyton Manning in Denver, moving on to the NFL. Talk about the guys in that competition in that all-important quarterback position.
Well, we've got 3 really talented young men that have been competing. Obviously, we went through 15 practices in the spring, and those guys were all back and forth. I mean, challenging each other each and every day, and really getting a chance to pick up the offense and what all we're asking them to do. You look at the sophomore. We have 2 sophomores. Mike Bercovici is a guy that can really spin the football. He's been extremely accurate with the ball and can make all the throws. Has developed himself as being a threat. In being able to pull the ball down and make things happen with his feet. That's one of the things that he's continuing to work on and developed and really improved on there in spring ball. You got the guy Taylor Kelly, who both those guys they were able to get some game experience, although it was limited, last year, backing up Brock. But Taylor's a guy that is a very natural zone read runner. I mean, he can make a lot of things happen with his feet. He can move in the pocket, throws well on the run, and his biggest thing that he developed, that was working on in the spring, was just consistency in the passing game, throwing on time, throwing on rhythm, being able to get the ball out. And then we got Michael Eubank, who's going to be a redshirt freshman for us, and he's a physical specimen. He's close to 6'5", 235, 40 pounds. A guy that has got an extremely strong arm, and also brings a threat. When things break down, he can make things happen with his feet. And so he's a guy that is just continuing to learn what we're doing, and just developing a lot of consistency. Obviously in the passing game, and get a chance to be an operator in this offense.
Do you want to settle on one guy before the season starts?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, that's something that we're going into fall camp, and we want to be able to get that done here. Hopefully within a few weeks of by that second camp scrimmage coming out of that, we'd like to be be narrowing in on who the quarterback's going to be. I'm not a guy that likes to have musical chairs at quarterback, and but at the same time, if there's a guy that brings something to the table that's going to help our football team win, we have had two guys that have been able to play and been successful, in this offense. And so, but we were definitely looking forward to being able to name a starting quarterback and a guy that's going to lead our football team.
We're visiting with Mike Norvell, as offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach at Arizona State, previewing the Sun Devils in 2012. I'm Vince Ferrara. Coach, talk about Cameron Marshall. Kind of describe his skill set. He's a Doak Walker Award candidate, a very productive 1,000-yard back for you guys last year. Talk about Cameron Marshall.
Well, Cam's a big physical back. He actually, I think he is kind of deceptive with his top end speed. He's a guy that you look and watch film from last year. He was able to break a lot of big runs, a lot of big touchdown runs, and but he's a big back. He likes to hit the ball downhill, and he really fits into our style of play, being a downhill running football team. And so he's one that I'm really excited about. I know he missed a little bit of time this spring, but he's gotten back to where he's 100% healthy when we're going to start here in fall camp, and I'm looking forward to great things from him. He's a running back that knows how to find the end zone. I think last year he had 18 touchdowns, and I definitely like guys who score touchdowns.
Well, talk about the receiver position. That's another spot where you guys are having to replace like your top three receivers from a year ago. Kind of size up that spot.
Well, it's a great opportunity for some younger guys. We were able to bring in a junior college transfer that we think is going to definitely be able to help us. But you look at we got a couple of guys that did have some quality reps. It all starts with Jamal Miles for us, who's returning. I think he had 60 receptions last year. He was used more in a capacity, catching short to intermediate passes. And this year we're really going to try to utilize him as a all-around receiver, vertically, and as well as there with the intermediate passing game, and just getting the ball in his hands a variety of different ways. We got guys like Rashad Ross. I mean, he was a vertical threat last year. Really came on towards the end of the season. We're looking for him to continue to develop a consistency of being an all-around receiver, and but he's a guy that potentially has the opportunity to do a lot of great things. And and then we got some younger guys that have really been able to spot play in some capacity in the past, but we're really going to count on them to be every down type players for us, and to be great playmakers in this offense.
And you mentioned Miles, maybe the best returner, punt and kickoff returner in the league, right?
Definitely, he's a guy that's electric when the ball's in his hands, and I was really pleased with him. His development this spring. Going into his senior year, sometimes you see guys that have kind of hit their max potential, but he's a guy that just totally flourished there, and has had a great spring, and continuing to develop as what we're expecting to be a big time playmaker for us.
Talking to Arizona State offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach Mike Norvell, you have to replace 3 of your 5 starters from a year ago on the offensive line. Talk about that group, and then also a tight end.
Well, I tell you up front, if you had asked me what was my biggest surprise of the spring, and it's really just how those guys up front came together, and some of the young guys established themselves as definitely key players for us, and that was a pleasant surprise for me, and I'm excited about that group. We've got a great group of guys. Kind of changing up just a little bit of the mindset. Like I said, we're going to be a fast break, no huddle football team, but one that's going to be a downhill running football team. We're going to be able to run, play action pass. Obviously, you look statistically, we've been able to throw the ball pretty well in this offense, but it all starts with being able to run the ball, and so those guys have really taken that challenge and that attitude, identity, and embraced it. So it's been fun working with that group and seeing them grow, and expecting a great year from them, and then when you look at the tight end position, we've got a returner in Chris Coyle, a guy that played a significant amount last year, and he's going to fit that tight end kind of three-back position for us, kind of a move tight end, and he's a guy that has really good speed, good hands. We brought in a junior college player in Darwin Rogers, who had a good spring, kind of coming in and learning what we're doing, and we think those guys can be great contributors to this offense.
I realize you're focused on the offense, but if you could just give us what you've witnessed for this Arizona State defense and just kind of summarize some of the things that stand out to you about the Sun Devils on D.
Well, they're going to fly around. They're going to run the football. I can tell you that Coach Graham and Coach Randolph over there, it's going to be an attack style defense that they're going to present multiple different looks, multiple fronts, multiple looks defensively, and they're going to be flying around. It's going to be definitely an attack style defense that's trying to get after that quarterback. Quick
thought on special teams. I know you have as good a returner as it gets, but what have you seen from the other guys?
Well, I mean, it's something that we feel like special teams is going to be a huge part of this season, and I mean that's the thing we challenge our guys to is we want to have the best special teams units in the Pac-12, and that's something that can help us win a lot of football games. And with our kicking units, we've seen them get better and better through our time being here this spring, and expecting them to come out and be great contributors for us.
You guys trek into the SEC this year. You're at Missouri now, a member of the Southeastern Conference. I know it's not your first game, not your primary focus right now, but just a quick thought on SEC member Missouri.
Well, I mean, anytime you got to go on the road and play in a hostile atmosphere, that's going to be a big game for us. And obviously we got a couple of games we're going to be focused on before that one. But Missouri is a great opponent, and looking forward to getting a chance to go up there and get rolling with our season. And I know they do a great job, both offensively and defensively, and so it'll be a great challenge for us, but one that we're looking forward to.
Tempe treating you well in your time there at Arizona State. Everyone raves about it. What's it been like for you so far?
It's been incredible because I do love sunshine and I love palm trees, and we got plenty of those here. So it's been a great time for me and my family, and the people here have really embraced this change and what we're doing here, and I'm excited. I'm excited about what the future of Arizona State football has in front of it, and I'm glad to be a part of it, and looking forward to be competing for championships here in a very near future.
Things are happening in the Pac-12. Got TV deal and a lot of new high-profile coaches in the conference as well. Should be a lot of fun. That's our preview at Arizona State this year with offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach Mike Norvell. Coach, great to talk to you. Really appreciate your time. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. That is Mike Norvell joining us here on the New Sentinel Sports Page, brought to you by Image Matters. I'm Vince Ferrara on the Sports Animal.